Good spacing by the Cougars. That one played back, intended for Flake, but behind her. So TCU able to make the play on it. Stepping out in front to take the ball away for the Cougars was Gates. They try to make a play to the right side. Yasmin Ryan got there first. Hiley have to play it all the way back to Alvarado. 1-0. BYU with the lead. Flake putting a little pressure on Alvarado as she sends it forward. The wind has died down a little bit on a chilly night here in Fort Worth. Eiley making a run through the middle, trying to send it through for Maddie Warren. Instead, it ends up in Davis's hands. So Sabrina Davis, the keeper for the Cougars, will send it forward. She's allowed just over a goal a game so far this year. So far with the shutout. Thomas Daughter. Hill slips on the damp turf. There was rain here in Fort Worth last night, and on a cold night like tonight, some of that moisture will come back out, making the turf a little slick in spots. Played back to Alvarado. McKaylee Moore putting a little pressure on Alvarado. Thomas Daughter. Eiley. TCU's best chances are when they've played the ball over the top. That time, Kayla Hill trying to make a run through the middle. Lost it. Played all the way down. BYU onside. This one is sent towards the corner, and there'll be a corner kick for BYU as it is played off the foot of the TCU defender. Juracek had to come back and make a play on it. Nice run down the right side by Gunn, and then Juracek had to cut Flake off as she was headed towards that far post. Lizzie Brabby with the short corner. Chip back in and headed away by TCU. Played through the middle. Good first touch that time by TCU's Maddie Warren, but run off the ball by the TCU defender. Bella Felino takes a seat on the bench. As BYU makes a couple of substitutions. Yasmin Ryan unable to handle it for the Horned Frogs. Throw in coming for BYU. Played into space. Ballstead. Ballstead run off the ball by Hubbard, who did a good job of getting her body between Ballstead and the goal, and then were able to run her off. Last touch by the Cougars, so goal kick coming for the Horned Frogs. Played in the air by Colohan for the Cougars. Hubbard was looking to send that ball through the middle off the BYU defender, so it'll be a throw-in for the Frogs. There's a whistle and a foul. First foul of the match called against BYU. It will go against Cameron Tucker, the sophomore out of Highland, Utah. Down on one knee, trying to get up, is Cache Liu, and certainly need to keep her in the game. She's been battling some injuries. The coaching staff saying they really need to try and keep Liu in the game for the full 90 minutes. But you can see her walking a little bit gingerly after the collision there with Cameron Tucker. Eric Bell looking on, his team trailing 1-0 here, just over 8 minutes remaining in the first half. Cougars have done a good job of pushing the attack. The Horned Frogs have had a couple of opportunities, three shots. A couple of them have been on frame, but none of them have found the back of the net. Throw-in coming for the Horned Frogs. They look to switch the attack. There's Juracek for TCU. Hubbard trying to get around the defender, being run off by Ballstadt. She sends it towards the far corner. But only one attacker there for TCU, unable to get ahead on it. Liu through the middle. Kayla Hill. Again to Hubbard. Sent into space for Messiah Bright, but BYU's back line doing a good job of covering up. And here come the Cougars back the other way. Cougars have done a good job of making the TCU defenders run and chase the ball. Hard to keep your shape on the back line when you're chasing the ball. And the Cougars so far, anyway, have been able to have the Horned Frogs doing a little chasing early on. No foul as TCU player hit the dirt. On the attack, it's sent out. Ballstadt trying to find some room to shoot. Plays it across. Over there wide open was Brabby. She just couldn't get a good touch on it. Brabby for the end line wins a corner. That one was off of Brandy Peterson. Peterson battling with Brabby, and it'll be a corner for BYU, their second of the match. Rachel Lyman, the junior, will take it. Sends it just outside the 6, headed away by Bright for TCU. Good job by Messiah Bright. BYU back on the attack. Bright able to run off Josie Gunn as she tried to make a run down the right side, or the left side rather, of the box. Substitution for TCU, Taylor Christensen, the sophomore, replaces Messiah Bright with just under 5 minutes remaining here in the first half. Down the right side, that's Brabby. Yasmin Ryan and Brabby battling. It'll be a throw-in for BYU as Brabby wins the battle with Ryan. Lyman with the throw-in. Hill able to redirect it away from the TCU goal. But BYU again with all 10 players on the offensive side of midfield. Frogs trying to play it over the top. Christensen trying to make a run, but here comes Sabrina Davis. You can see the way BYU likes to play. They push everyone up into the attacking zone, all 10 players, and then Davis will come out all the way to the circle outside the 18 and basically just clear everything away that the Frogs try to play over the top. BYU back on the attack. Colahan plays it to the right side. And again, all 10 players up for the Cougars. Brabby, good move to get away from trouble. Makes the run. That one sent in the middle, and a good job by Juracek to get it out of the front of the goal. Patterson able to watch that one trickle past the end line. Last touch by BYU. It was Rachel Lyman who made the last touch, so it'll result in a free kick, or a goal kick rather, for Emily Alvarado.
Should start lining up now at the north side walkway by the concession stand.
2.5 left in the first half. Cougars scoring on the goal by Elise Flake. Foul against the Cougars. Thomas Daughter sends it across for Hubbard. Christensen run off the ball. BYU will play it back. Under 2 minutes here in the first half. BYU has kept possession of the ball throughout much of this first half, and they have the 1-goal lead. Ryan trying to mark the ball for TCU out near the center line. Thomas Daughter. Brabby. Or check that. That was Kaylee Moore for BYU, but TCU able to win the throw in. Just over a minute.
1 minute remaining in
Juracek.
the first half.
Hubbard played over the top, but nobody there for the Horned Frogs. It was over the head of Christensen. Here come the Cougars looking for one last attack. They send it in the middle. Juracek content to play it back to Alvarado. Hubbard with a nice move to get around Tucker. Closing moments
10,
of the
9,
first half,
8,
under 10 seconds.
7, 6, 5,
Played
4,
forward,
3,
and
2,
it'll be a throw in for the
1.
Horned Frogs, but the whistle will sound to end the first half. Eric Bell sees his team down 1-0 on the goal by Flake at 22:38, the only goal of the first half. So TCU will head back into the locker room to regroup. On the other side for the Cougars, Jennifer Rockwood will talk to her team. We'll be back with the second half after this timeout. Welcome back to Garvey Rosenthal Stadium as we start the second half. 1-0 BYU. It was a very clean first half, just a couple of fouls, no yellow cards. BYU converting their only goal at 22-38 of that first half by their leading scorer, Alicia Flake, her 14th goal of the year. TCU has been a very good second half team this year. They've scored 25 of their 33 goals in the second half of the match. Kayla Hill and Messiah Bright, 4 goals each in the second half so far this year. As, the Horned Frogs will need a second half comeback in order to win this game. It was BYU who controlled the pressure in the first half. There's a whistle, and the foul will go against TCU. That's Mackenzie Oliver, who was called for the violation, and getting up gingerly is Elisa Jefferson. As you see, Jefferson hit the turf. Their legs kind of got tangled up there. Serasio putting it in play for BYU. For the Cougars, they had 9 shots in that first half. 4 of them were on frame. 1 of them hit the back of the net. For TCU, just 3 shots, 2 of them on frame. Down the left side, Ballstad. TCU able to run her off the ball and played back through the middle. Lyman played it back. Colahan. Alvarado has to come out and pick it up just outside the 6. Pressure being put on by BYU. Alvarado did a good job in that first half, stopping a couple of tough shots by the Cougars. She had a lot of traffic in front of the net in that first half, only allowed the 1 goal. Now with the 1-goal lead, BYU keeping 2 defenders right about the midfield line. Ball trickles past the end line. Coming up, holding her cheek is Josie Ginn, or Gunn for BYU, as she took a shot from Hubbard as they both went down. Looked like Hubbard's foot might have come up and got her. Played back to Alvarado. Pressure put on by Flake. TCU able to play it forward. Lyman. Wade. Lyman again. Tries to play it towards the middle. Coming up was Brabby. And BYU wins the throw in as Peterson for the Frogs had the last touch. Colahan plays it back. Serasio playing it forward. And that one will trickle all the way down to Alvarado in goal. Thomas Daughter played it in the air. Lyman plays it down the line into space, making the run for BYU. Back out for Lyman. TCU wins the throw in as that ball off the foot of Gates. delayed whistle by the referee, Timothy Debensing, as we see the foul committed by Alicia Jefferson as she runs into Mackenzie Oliver. Ryan for TCU trying to switch the attack. Thomas Daughter played forward. TCU couldn't get a clean touch on it, so they were looking for Messiah Bright. Thomas Daughter. Hill being marked closely. A little confusion in the middle by Oliver and Bright as they both went for it. Played back to Davis. Jefferson tries to send it forward. TCU marking Maddie Gates in the middle of the field. BYU, though, able to get it into space. Coulihan. And the offside flag goes up. Victor Perez with the offside flag as Bella Folina, a freshman out of California, just a little too quick. It'll be a free kick for TCU after the offsides. Tiana Juracek will send it forward for TCU. Instead, she elects to play it back to Alvarado. Oliver plays it to the sideline. And that ball past the touchline as Brandy Peterson tried to keep it in play. It'll be a throw in for BYU. Rachel Lyman will throw it in. Lyman sends it over the top for Gates. TCU plays it toward the middle. They were looking for Bright. Couldn't connect. TCU with a quick throw in to try and catch BYU backing up. Yasmin Ryan. Bright looking for Oliver. Back to Bright, looking to get around the defender. Bright in the box. And off of Serasio. And into the arms of Sabrina Davis. Well, Bright does a good job here trying to get around the defender. But the defender did just enough. That was Jefferson to not allow Bright enough open space to get off a good shot. Having to come out as Alvarado was right there was Gates. She was inside the 18 with a good opportunity. One of those balls that as a keeper, you really have to make a decision early, and Alvarado chose wisely that time, and she came out to corral it. Here comes TCU back the other way. That through ball played a little too strong. Oliver will try and chase it down. With Davis up with it. Olivia Wade to Serasio. There's Wade again through the middle. Plays it to the outside. TCU right there. Horned Frogs trying to press the attack. Played into space for Oliver. Mackenzie Oliver able to run it down, and she wins a throw in. She's able to get that one off of Josie Gunn. So Oliver with the throw in for the Horned Frogs. Chips it for Kayla Hill. Hill sending it to the middle. Bright. That ball was a little too high around her hip. She just couldn't get a good soft first touch on it to settle it enough to get a shot off. Hill again chipping it down the line. And a throw in for BYU is Horacio was there. TCU with an opportunity. Thomas Daughter sends it inside. There's Bright, and she finds the back of the net to equalize. It all started with the overpass. Thomas Daughter with a good feed and a nice touch by the freshman Messiah Bright, her 6th goal of the year. And she equalizes here. There's the pass from Thomas Daughter, and the rest of it done by Messiah Bright, able to settle it onto the left foot and finds the back of the net as she's able to get it past Sabrina Davis to equalize at 1. So once again, TCU showing their ability to score in the second half. The majority of their goals have come in this half this year. Messiah Bright, the freshman from Dallas, has done an outstanding job for the Horned Frogs. She will be a force to reckon with throughout her career in the Big 12. Played for Solar at her club days. Bright, a little two-man game on the corner. TCU with a lot more life as this one is sent into the box. Chipped away by BYU. Thomas Daughter does a good job of getting her body in the way. Then wins a throw-in. Bright. Again, a throw-in for TCU. Hubbard will throw it in. A whistle. Substitution coming for TCU. Messiah Bright will take a seat on the bench. Checking in for the Horned Frogs is Tara Smith. Smith.
Substitution
Oliver
for TCU into the match, number 16.
with some space, wins the corner.
Number 11,
Mackenzie Oliver doing a good job trying to get around. And they're going to say that that was off of Oliver's foot. She made the run deep here, and you can see it was off the rebound. Horacio touched it, but then it came off of the shin of Oliver. So goal kick. We're back to live action here. That ball played back by TCU. Peterson playing it back for Alvarado, and then Alvarado elects to just clear it with pressure coming from Flake of BYU. They played inside for Flake. Flake marked by 3 defenders. TCU able to win the battle and collect the ball. Played forward. Oliver trying to connect with Smith down the right side. A little too strong with the pass. A little too much pace on it for Smith. Yasmin Ryan for the Horned Frogs had the ball behind her. BYU able to come away with it. Horacio plays it forward. TCU stepping in front, comes up with it. Here comes Kayla Hill. She'll back it away. Off the cross. Hubbard, nice move trying to get around the defender. Folina, who was marking her closely. TCU winning the 50-50 balls here in this second half. A much different team for the Frogs here in this second half. That through ball intended for Hubbard, who was making a run down the right side, just a little too much on it. It got past her, and it'll be a goal kick by Sabrina Davis. Knotted at 1. Goal in this half by Messiah Bright. Coming at 55-26. Hubbard plays it into the middle. Wade for BYU. They play it back. Great play. Yasmin Ryan gets some space and scores! Ryan all over Saracio. Able to win the ball, and then just a light touch to get it to her foot. Able to settle it and fire it into the back of the goal from just inside the 18, and the Frogs have a 2-1 lead here in the second half. Yasmin Ryan with a 4th goal. It's a nice touch here. She settles it. Just enough open space to blast it into the back of the net off the right foot. Nothing that Davis could do. She'd come all the way out to the 6. And with that much open space, Ryan does a good job to bury it. Her 5th goal of the year. She's got 3 game winners. She may have a 4th if that one stands.
TCU goal scored by number 2, Yasmin Ryan. Substitution for TCU into the match, number 20, Maddie Warren.
Maddie Warren
number 12,
will come in
Oliver.
For the Frogs, replacing Mackenzie Oliver for TCU. As Alvarado plays it forward for the Horned Frogs. Well, TCU with 2 goals here in this second half to take a 2-1 lead. Hill had it taken away. Brabby sends it across. Nobody there for BYU, and it's played away from trouble by TCU. Gunn inside the 18. That's Smith for TCU. Into the middle, nobody there for the Frogs. BYU with the ball. Lyman plays it into the middle. They'll play it back. On the left side, Gunn tries to play it down the line. Just couldn't get around it. Sent it past the touchline, so it'll be a throw-in for the Horned Frogs. As Tara Smith will check that. It was Hubbard who threw it in for TCU. Yasmin Ryan being marked closely by Wade. Tries to get around her and does. Unable to hold up into space. Chip forward for Ryan down the right side. She just couldn't get there in time. Too much pace on that ball as it was sent in by Maddie Warren. So BYU with the throw in. Josie Gunn will throw it in for the Cougars. Thomas Daughter chips it into the box. Davis had to come all the way over to the right side. Lyman plays it into the middle. Brabby Flake trying to get around Eiley for TCU. She was able to come up with it, and there's a foul. Well, Eiley knocked down. Foul committed by BYU. We take another look at it. As coming over was Rachel Lyman. And Lyman just using her shoulder to run her off the ball, resulting in a foul. Back to live action. Played forward by TCU. Past the touchline in front of the TCU bench, right next to Eric Bell. So it'll be a throw in for the Cougars. TCU, who's done a good job on the defensive end this year.
Substitution for
whistle.
BYU to the
Foul
match,
again
20.
called against
Cameron
BYU.
Tucker. She replaces number 22, Bella Felino.
Bella Felina will take a seat
Also
on
into
the
the match for the Cougars,
bench,
number 3,
and Tucker
McKaylee Moore.
will come in.
She replaces number 21, Maddie Sidaway Gates.
Ryan trying to win that ball in the air, call for the foul. Yasmin Ryan going up with gun. Ryan call for the foul. Free kick coming for the Cougars. Sends it down the line. Goal kick coming. Slow to get up for the Horned Frogs on that back line is
Substitution for TCU
Tara
number 11,
Smith.
Messiah Bright.
As you can see,
Into the
Smith
match.
going to the turf hard as she was shoved down that time by Cameron Tucker, who just entered the game, the sophomore out of Highland,
Replacing number
Utah.
5, Danielle Eiley.
We'll check that it was Juracek who went to the turf. I thought it was 1-6, was just 6. Tiana Juracek going down hard. Goal kick coming for TCU. Emily Alvarado sends it forward. Quick whistle. That time is here comes BYU back on the attack into the middle. That was Flake. TCU fortunate to get her away from the ball. Thomas Daughter still up top, and Alvarado didn't see that ball until the last second, has to dive and comes up with a big stop for TCU. It'll be a goal corner for BYU. As you can see, that one just redirected, and at the last second, Alvarado able to get a hand on it and push it away from trouble. Chipped in to the 6. Bright does a good job to get her head on it and clear it away from trouble out in front of the TCU net. It'll be a throw in for the Horned Frogs. Hubbard played back. Gates. Lyman sends it forward. Looking for some space is Warren. Plays it through. Yasmin Ryan has a run in some space. And she'll back it off as she was by herself making that run down the left side of the attack for the Horned Frogs, and TCU with a 1-goal advantage, content to just play it backwards and refocus the attack. It's a whistle and a foul. We'll call that against BYU, as Smith, Tara Smith there, was making the run down the right side, shoved in the back, so it'll be a free kick for the Horned Frogs. Kayla Hill will take it for TCU. She'll tee it up. Kaylee Moore right there, backing off, giving her 10 yards. See what Hill does. She sends it into the box. Thomas' daughter got a head on it. But a lot of players in the scrum just in front of the net. Not much pace on that ball off the header. Ryan using her heel to get some space. There's Bright. Bright. The tussle. Foul went against Bright. BYU quickly putting it back in play, but here come the Frogs. Thomas' daughter. He's going to leave it for Ryan. Overlapping run for Ryan. She's run off the ball by Lyman. Jefferson trying to play it forward for Brabby. Sent it behind her. And it'll be a throw in for TCU. Big crowd on hand tonight for this match. Round of 64. The winner will take on the winner of the UNT Texas A&M game in Knoxville, Tennessee. That game down in College Station tonight. UNT Texas A&M 0-0, just beginning the second half. It's 2-1 here, TCU. Tennessee, who is the host in that region, will be taking or beat Louisville later on, or earlier today, 2-1 in their match. So Louisville eliminated. BYU looking to equalize. 20 minutes remaining in regulation. Great run into the box, and TCU does a good job. Alvarado hustling after it. Flake was there, their leading scorer. She's already netted one tonight. Almost had a second. As that ball was left forward, you see Flake trying to come back, and Alvarado just dives between Flake and Cassier Lou. Recognizing that that ball was in a bad spot and loose, and Alvarado, the only player on the pitch can use her hands, decided it was time to grab it. She'll send it forward. Warren leaves it for Hill. TCU playing it back. There's Hubbard. Sending it down the line, headed away by the Cougars. That time it was Moore trying to play it for Flake. BYU from distance. Flake able to run it down. Plays it back. TCU trying to hold their shape on the back line. Able to run the ball out of trouble. Thomas' daughter doing a great job. Just taking it herself. She closes up the space. Hill. Little three-man game with Smith, Hill, and Thomas' daughter. They play keep away on the right side. Sent down. Throw incoming for BYU. But a good job by Smith along with her teammates. Play a little keep away. Let the time tick off the clock with the 1-goal lead here. Just over 18 minutes remaining.
Substitution for BYU into the match, number 6, Ashton Brockbank. She
chipped over the top.
Number 8, Michaela Houlihan.
Saracio was there for
Also
the Cougars.
For the Cougars, number 13, Mighty Takanaka.
Bright collides in the middle with Jefferson. Jefferson goes down. Bright didn't go down, but Bright is limping. Another collision. This time it's Lyman who's on the pitch. Messiah Bright for TCU down. And she is struggling to get up and move as we take another look at it as she goes down hard. Or check that. That was Yasmin Ryan, the second collision. Lyman slow to get up for BYU. As both players with a yellow card after that collision. First yellow cards of the match. So Lyman picks up the yellow for BYU, and Yasmin Ryan picks up the yellow card for TCU. Frogs will have the free kick here, as they are both booked. It's loose in the middle. There's a shot deflected up front. TCU still with the ball. There's Bright, and she is run off the ball by Tucker, and then Tucker goes down. Free kick for BYU. As the Cougars quickly put it back in play. This game has gotten a little bit more physical here in the second half. Maddie Warren being marked closely by Gunn. Brockbank taken away by TCU. Nice move. Hill had some space, chips it into the middle. Bright battling. Plays it back, but right at the feet of Brockbank for BYU. And the Cougars head off in the other direction. Brabby run off the ball. Throw-in coming for the Cougars. Lyman. Wade tries to play it through. TCU has to play it back. Giving chase was Akinaka for BYU. Throw in for the Cougars. Nice move around the corner. Tries to chip it in and does. It's loose, and Alvarado has to fall on it. Again, BYU with a scramble out in front of the net. They had Brabby there, and Alvarado just pounces on it as Brabby was right in the middle, in between Yasmin Ryan and Brandy Peterson. Played away from trouble by the Horned Frogs. Warren giving chase, and BYU forced to play it out of bounds. Cameron Tucker just played it away from trouble. Or check that. That was Elisa Jefferson who played it out of trouble. Substitution for the Horned Frogs. Checking out is Maddie Warren, and back into the game is Mackenzie Oliver, the senior. Tara Smith also checking out for the Horned Frogs. Bright run off the ball. Good job by Yasmin Ryan to mark the attacker for the Cougars, Brabby. Lyman looking to play it ahead. And a whistle and the foul will go against BYU. Is a little too handsy that time by Brabby. She grabbed the whole of the jersey. So it'll be a free kick for the Horned Frogs. Brandy Peterson will take it. The freshman out of Atlanta, Georgia. Played for the Concordia Fire. There's Bright in the middle. She's got some space. Tries to get around the defender, and then she's run off the ball and commits the foul right at the 18 as she pushed the BYU defender to the ground. Messiah Bright just trying to get around and then used her hand to shove Gunn to the ground here. Gunn with the free kick. Played in the air by TCU. Eiley able to win that battle for TCU. Oliver trying to get some room. Lyman chasing it down on the right side. Through ball intended for Bright, who is making a run down the middle. Messiah Bright has some space, trying to close it up, cuts it back to the middle, and then chips it for Oliver. Oliver marked closely on that right side by Jefferson. Throw in coming for TCU. Hubbard with the throw in. Substitution for BYU is checking into the game is Flake, who had gotten a few minutes rest on the bench.
Substitution for BYU into the match, number 5, Elise Flake.
Elise Flake.
She replaces
The
number 3,
only goal
Kaylee Moore.
So far, she replaced McKaylee Moore. BYU trying to get their leading scorer back in the game with a little bit of rest, and it'll be Flake who will have the throw in here. She'll give it up. Gunn. That ball over the crossbar. A shot from distance that time by Coulihan. Coulihan led the league in shots. She had 81 shots in league play or over the course of the year. 27 of them were on frame. That one over the top. And she's not afraid to shoot it when she's in the vicinity. Eiley for the Horned Frogs tries to chip it forward. She'll win the throw in as it was last touched by Brabby of BYU. A throw in coming. Hubbard will take it. Played forward for Yasmin Ryan. Ryan being marked as she tries to cut toward the sideline. Wins a throw in. Cameron Tucker with the last touch for BYU. So Ryan will throw it in. There's Bright. Leaves it for Ryan. Gets around the defender. Tucker. Good job that time by Rachel Lyman to sneak in behind her, take the ball away. Wade comes out of the pack with the ball, sends it forward for Brabby. Brabby being marked by Eiley on that left side. Tucker into the 6. Frogs able to get it away from danger. Play it back toward the middle. Running that one down is Alicia Jefferson for BYU. One in the air by TCU. Thomas' daughter content to play it back. Mackenzie Oliver jumped over the top of it, let it go out of bounds, so she wins the throw in. Hubbard will throw it in for TCU. She sends it down the line. BYU able to win the ball in the air. Lyman. Flake. We'll check that. That was Brockbank for BYU. And the Cougars will get a throw in. Under 8 minutes left. TC with a 1-goal advantage. Chip towards the far side and over the top of everyone. BYU had a couple of attackers in the vicinity. Coulihan jogging back was near the ball, but it went over her head. Alvarado will take her time and set this one up on the 6. Right now, the clock on the side of the Horned Frogs. TC will be content to play the possession game right now. They would like one more goal if they can get it. BYU looking for the equalizer. Bright able to break away from the pack. Bright with a chance. Bright sends it over the crossbar. Messiah Bright had a chance to put a nail in the coffin of the Cougars, but just sent it high. She did everything right here. She got away from traffic, settled it, but just got underneath it. A great opportunity for Bright and the Horned Frogs. With just over 6 minutes remaining. Cougars playing it forward, trying to get the equalizer. There's Coulihan. Coulihan leaves it. The little chip in the box. Flake. Thomas daughter able to get her foot on it and get it away from the goal. Here come the Cougars. Tucker able to get around Ryan. Sends it in. That shot by Brockbank off the TCU defender, so it'll be a corner coming for BYU. It's their 4th corner of the match. TCU, who does a great job of getting corners, has but one tonight. Sent into the box. And that ball on the foot of Brabby, who sent it wide. So it'll be a goal kick for the Horned Frogs. The big crowd on their feet here at Garvey Rosenthal Stadium, trying to urge the Horned Frogs on. TC looking for their first NCAA tournament victory. This is their 3rd appearance. BYU has been a regular 19 times in the 24 seasons that Jennifer Rockwood has been the head coach. The Cougars have appeared in the NCAA tournament. They've gone to the 3rd round multiple times. Last year they did not make it to postseason play. For Eric Bell, he's looking for that elusive first NCAA victory. We'd love to see it come here tonight against BYU. Chip forward, TCU with the run. Opportunity for the Horned Frogs. Oliver runs it off into the corner as she's being marked very closely by Gunn. Bright battling. I'm going to say that there was a penalty called against Bright. You see Bright just kind of step in front of Gunn and send her to the ground without touching the ball. It'll be a goal kick. One in the air by Brabby. She plays it forward. Juracek for TCU. Able to play it out of bounds. Wade. Tucker. Just missed. Just wide. Alvarado stretching for it. Did not get a hand on it. As we see the shot just skimming past the pipe. As that chip shot by Cameron Tucker, who has scored 3 times this year. Just 6 inches away from equalizing. Greater sense of urgency from the Cougars now. With just under 2.5 remaining in the game. TCU able to win the 50-50 ball. Frogs content to let BYU play the ball backwards. Lyman trying to switch the attack as she makes her way down the right side. Sends it for Tucker. And Tucker can't get around it. She'll win the corner.
Corner kick. BYU.
5th of the match for BYU, and it'll be Tucker who will set it up. Sets it up for an outswinger. BYU will crash the net. Sends it low. Tucker to the backside, or the back post, but beyond everyone's reach. 1:30 left. TCU 90 seconds away from their first NCAA tournament victory. And a trip to Knoxville to take on the winner of UNT Texas A&M. Flake trying to run it down. Trying to make a move. Hubbard right there. Refuses to let her get by.
1 minute remaining.
1 minute remaining. There's a whistle. Free kick coming. Flake quickly puts the boot on it. And it ends up right in Alvarado's hand. Alvarado will take her time. Good chip shot here by Flake. BYU had the numbers. It looked like Moore might have got her head on it. 35 seconds left. TCU plays it over the top. Bright putting some pressure on. One last chance for the Cougars as they play it through. Tucker trying to make a run around the defender. Peterson up to the task, able to clear it. It'll be a corner, but there's only 5 seconds left. The ball is chipped towards the middle, and the horn sounds as the Horned Frogs make history tonight as they win their first NCAA tournament game as they beat the BYU Cougars 2-1 with 2 goals here in the second half. The game winner coming off of the foot of Yasmin Ryan at 29-16. And the Frogs have a 2-1 victory. They will head to Knoxville to take on either UNT or Texas A&M, depending upon who wins that game down in College Station. Eric Bell has to be very happy with the performance of his team here tonight. Once again, the Frogs playing an outstanding second half as they get goals from the freshman Messiah Brigham and then the sophomore Yasmin Ryan will win it tonight 2-1. That'll do it for us from Fort Worth as the Horned Frogs victorious this evening 2-1 over BYU. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Fans, that concludes tonight's first round match. Our final score is TCU 2 and BYU 1. Congratulations, TCU. With tonight's victory, the Horned Frogs advance to the second round.